Aloha, this is Lorna Takehara Strand, Chair of Oahu Democrats, with candidate Robert Armstrong, who is running for the House of Representatives from District 28. Aloha, Robert. Tell us where you were born and your childhood ohana.
Aloha, Lorna. I'm Robert Armstrong, and I was born in Milwaukee and lived most of my life growing up in Ohio. So real Midwestern values there. But what's important is Hawaii is the 10th and last place that I've lived here in the United States, plus 3 countries. So I'm truly a person who considers himself a globalist. I lived 7 years in Singapore, a year in China, and about a half year in India. So I have all of that mixed up into my background, and that's why Hawaii is so comfortable, because it's a melting pot of all of those cultures plus more.
And now, where do you live, and who is your adult life ohana?
Sure. Well, I lost my family about 10 years ago, which prompted my move here. It's just me and the dog, Kodo, my Shiba Inu, and I live in Chinatown and downtown, right at the intersection of both of those neighborhoods. And if you live in this area, you know me because I walk the streets. I don't have a car. I'm completely mobile with 2 legs. And that's how I've come to know the district for the past 8 years. And that's one of the reasons I'm running, is because I know they need a voice in the House.
Please tell us about someone who's your personal hero who inspires you to keep moving forward every day.
You know, that's a tough question to answer, because as somebody who was a reporter and a television anchor at one point in my life, I've had a chance to interview several presidents, both in the United States and abroad, lots of celebrities. I was Aretha Franklin's personal concierge for a little while. And so, you know, I've had a chance to, and I've been in the audience with the Pope. But the people who inspire me are the folks who live right here in this neighborhood, folks who are holding down 2 or 3 jobs and trying to make ends meet, folks who've overcome a medical illness and didn't give up and still, you know, get up every day and do what's right for their family. I'm also inspired by the homeless who have picked themselves up and made a change in their lives. Most of them have either a mental illness or a substance abuse issue, and they've been able to clean themselves up and move forward. These are the heroes of Hawaii, and these are the people that I want to represent in the House of Representatives.
What have been some defining moments or events in your life that helped shape you as a Democrat?
That's an interesting question. I grew up in a home where my father was a Democrat and my mother was a Republican. And I don't want to talk about my mother's love for Richard Nixon, because I did not share that. And but I did understand from a very early age my father's passion and devotion, really, to the ideals of Franklin Roosevelt. I think his leadership during, you know, Pearl Harbor attack and other times, and for some reason, those values were inculcated in me to fight for the little guy. And ever since I was a little kid, and I remember this in the 3rd grade, I was the kid who stood up for the bully. And I'd like to believe the Democrats still stick up for the little guy, who really look for giving a voice to those who are voiceless, and who overlook the special interests and the moneyed interests and try to get right to the heart of the social issues that affect us all and that we've been living through in the last couple of years. And so that I guess just growing up in a diverse household where we argued politics around the dinner table and was able to like listen to my father and the heroes that he had, and also LBJ was another hero of his with the civil rights movement. Those were deeply impacting to me and why I've been a lifelong Democrat.
We have 1 minute left, and in that minute, why do you believe you're the right Democrat for the job?
Well, as I just said, you know, we've got lots of candidates here in District 28. One is, you know, the incumbent, who is very well known in terms of the business circles, and he's got a lot of money behind him. There's also a party insider, and so all of those interests are taken care of there. But nobody is standing in the corner of the little guy. And I think that I bring to this race after 4 years being on the neighborhood board and working with nonprofits, that's my job now. I'm a nonprofit administrator, being a television reporter and educator for 20 years. I believe I bring a perspective for that little guy, and that's why I'm running. And I hope people will join me in that race.
And if people want to volunteer for your campaign, how do they contact you?
Well, the best way is to go to the website armstrongforhawaii28.com or write me specifically at armstrongforhawaii@gmail.com or call the number on the website, and I will pick it up, and I'll be happy to talk to any constituent or potential voter.
Aloha and mahalo, Robert.
Aloha.